Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Trash Talk. Uh,
Trash
we're we're
talk.
we're here with you again as we are every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Love having you with us, and the comments that you're sending in, I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. The likes, the shares, and all of the comments. We've have a variety of shows, and you all seem to like it. So I guess we'll just keep on doing it.
I
Okay.
guess. Why not? Got nothing else to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Tuesday mornings are pretty much a wash for us anyway. So, put the coffee on, get in front of the camera, and
Get rolling.
do
Yeah.
trash talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, we're talking about museums today. And all we started earlier, going back a few episodes, we started talking about where to go for the summer on vacations and stuff and what to do. And museums always are great. Number one, they're always great to go if it's raining outside, inclement weather. Go to a museum and get inside. Also in the summer, wherever you are around the country, I know especially this time of the year in Texas, man, it gets hot. And so museums are always a great way to go and spend a little bit of time and even learn something.
Yeah, there's so many museums across the country that just really cool stuff that you don't think about. I think back in the day when we were younger, we were kind of like, museums, but they've changed. It's not just looking at statues and artwork, which that's very cool. It's interactive. There's so much stuff you can do.
Yeah. I mean, probably both of our introduction to museums were when you were kind of in grade school or something. They used to have, what the heck they call it, where they load you up in a bus, a little road trip or something, and you'd
Yeah,
go
they
to
had the field trips. Yeah.
yeah, a field trip. You go to and spend a few hours, and you'd learn some stuff. And you were in the Detroit area. I was in Chicago, both major cities for museums. Uh, my first I think visit was probably the Museum of Science and Industry in
Oh, really?
Chicago, which
Yeah.
which even back 40, 50 years ago, there was a lot of hands-on stuff where you would go and you'd watch an exhibit and you'd pick up a telephone and you'd listen to a narrative of what was going on. They've taken it, many steps forward now where you can take your own phone and get an interactive tour when you go through a museum, and it's great. And you can go. You used to have to keep on moving. All right, let's
Yeah.
go to the next room. And what at today's museums, you can go through with these audio uh, portions and just if you want to stay in one room for a half an hour, you can.
That's what's cool about it. And one of my favorite museums, I think I've been to 3 times since I moved to Texas, is the Sixth Floor Museum in Dallas. That has to be by far one of the coolest museums I've ever experienced, because not only are you learning about what was going on during that time, you are literally in the building and you are literally there. You are looking down where JFK was assassinated. And
Yeah,
of course,
the
stupid.
the book depository.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
And they have so much stuff there that you could listen to and look at. And they've got the room all like glassed off from the window where he was shot. You can go over to the grassy knoll. They've got the X on the street. Like that is one, I've learned so much about that time, not only in our history, but that time, as far as his assassination goes and the evidence and things they found afterwards. What a great museum.
yeah. And the interesting thing is, it is not a museum just for adults.
No.
They present it in a way that children also are listening to the commentary and everything,
Yes.
and understanding what's going on. And again, if you listen to something and you say, that was interesting, I want to listen again, you just push a button and you listen to it again before you move on to the next exhibit. It's a lot of art museums are doing that now, where they're talking about each of the artists and you can stand there and look at the artwork for as long as you want, get to the end of the commentary, sit and enjoy it, listen again, move on to the next art work, push a button, and it tells you what the next artist is all about.
Yeah, you know what's really cool too is they're doing a lot of these pop-up museums now, and they've got one coming up with Bansky that I really want to go to. But they just did one with Da Vinci, and they only do it for a couple days. They don't tell you the location, and you purchase the tickets. Then they tell you where it's going to be, and you walk into this place, and you are literally in this virtual Da Vinci museum where you're seeing these drawings and paintings as big as the wall, and you're immersed in it while they're talking about everything that he was going through, what he did. It's really, really cool. And they're doing one with Bansky coming up, and I'd really like to go to that.
Yeah, and it's like a surround sound too,
Amazing.
and visually as well as audio portions of it is all around you. And like you say, all of a sudden there's something that is projected on the floor, and you look at it there, and then something in the ceiling. I mean, it's really more of an experience.
It is, yeah, and it's a great opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime thing because a lot of us aren't going to be able to go see some of those original pieces, you know. So being able to immerse yourself in this experience for the night, and then a lot of times these pop-up ones, they'll have a cocktail hour before or after, so you can go and hang out, and it's just really fun.
What were some of the museums in Detroit that you visited as a kid?
Well, obviously the Motown Museum, Motown Records at the studio where they recorded all those hit records. They've expanded on it a little bit. It's still in that house, but they've expanded next door. Being able to sit there and put myself in front of a microphone that Diana Ross was from, that the
Temptation, the Four
oh
Tops.
my gosh, the Four Tops, Aretha Franklin, even Michael Jackson walked through there, like really amazing. That was cool. There's also one that they have, the Detroit Techno Museum, because Detroit's the home of electronic music. So being able to go look at where they produced some early techno, seeing the vinyl records, the equipment they used, having the studio, again, a very cool, unique museum. One more, I got to say, it's not so much museum as it is like an exhibit. There's this street, and I'm going to forget the name of it because I'm horrible. There's a street in Detroit, not in a great neighborhood, but there's a street in Detroit, and it's called the something project, not the projects, but it's a project in Detroit, and the whole street, I think it's really 2 streets or 2 blocks, all the houses are art pieces. So you have they turn the abandoned lots into these art pieces. And people live in these homes, and
Really?
like their whole house is painted or graffitied, or they have all these statues, or the whole tree's covered with tires, and all the tires are painted. And it's I forgot the name of it, but it's amazing. And we parked our car there and walked around and checked out this. I think it's called like the Hindenburg Project. And it's beautiful. It's just so cool to see that they turned this street, which was virtually abandoned, into an art street. It's amazing.
The Chicago, the Art Museum in Chicago is an amazing place. One of my favorite places, if you ever go to Chicago, in the Art Museum, there is a hall of miniatures. And what it is you just go from little kiosk to kiosk, and it is historical rooms. It may just be modern, it could be ancient, but it's all done with miniature furniture and everything, created by these artists. It's called the Hall of Miniatures, and
That's cool.
it's really very interesting. Little miniature diners, and miniature soda fountains, miniature French palace type rooms, ballrooms, and everything done to the the finest detail. That's a neat place. The Museum of Natural History,
Yeah.
uh,
Huge.
is a great place for kids, especially the dinosaur room where they've got the dinosaur exhibits and the mastodons and all of that. I remember that was probably the first place that you went, and when you finish with the tour, you always have to go through the gift shop before you get
Oh
to the
yeah.
exit.
Always.
And so you had to go there and buy a kit to build your own little woolly mammoth uh to take
Yeah.
home.
But it's educational too. You learn something.
Yeah,
By the way, the name of that is it's the Heidelberg Project
the
in
Heidelberg Project.
Detroit. Yeah, and their whole mission is to create an art community in the rural or urban areas that are maybe not living in, but they want to bring joy to these people, and they've actually spread it over 3 streets now. But anyway,
Well,
it's very
and
cool.
when one group of people sees that in one city, then there's other people in other cities that say, "Hey, we need to bring that to our urban area or whatever," and start to do that. And then you find all over the country things are popping up like that. If you're traveling, the best thing to do is just to Google it
Yeah.
when whatever city that you're going to, what to see in wherever you're going, Memphis or Topeka or whatever, and see. And there's usually a museum of something everywhere.
Well, and it's really cool because you can find something like right here in Frisco. We've got the National Video Game Museum, and it's a really amazing thing that goes through the history of video games.
Yep.
But it also, I mean, from the nostalgia factor to events to modern video games, it's a great museum to go for the day.
Yeah, and I mean, and it starts with one of the original games was Pong, from Atari, and you walk in
Yep.
and they've got this huge Pong setup. Then as you move through it, it goes chronologically and takes you
Yes.
through the Nintendo, the original Nintendo games, and the
Love it.
Nintendo Game Boy, and you go all the way, and then you finish in the game room when you get these coins, and you finish up in the game room where they've got the original Pac-Man and Pac-Woman and Donkey Kong and Atari Space Invaders and all of the old, and the kids, as much as they are into the really modern stuff that they've got on their iPads now, they get into some of these rooms and they go crazy over some of those old, pinball and arcade games that we grew up with.
Well, there's nothing like it. I just took my son to a place out in Denton, where you pay one fee, cheap, by the way. They've got over 120 arcade games, probably like 20 to 30 pinball games. They got a full bar, not that we did that, and man, he pulled up his little bar stool, sat up there, and it was playing video games. And these are, he's shooting, he's playing Pac-Man, and it's an experience, and to be able to do that in the museum and again, also learn something, very cool. And it's not expensive. It's not expensive.
Yeah. Here, also in Frisco, for those that are in the DFW area, the American Museum of Railroads,
Yes.
American Railroad Museum, is under construction now. Right now, they do have what's called Traintopia, and it was a donated train set from a local gentleman that was very much into model trains. He died, his wife donated it. It's going to be part of the museum, but right now it's a fun experience because you go in and you pay a fee, and you also get a clipboard. The kids love this. It's a clipboard with a scavenger hunt on it. And as
cool.
you walk through the museum, it tells you find a billboard showing Coca-Cola in there, and you're going around looking for it. It asks you about different things. Where is a movie theater in the center of a town? But as you're walking through it, what it does is the lights all of a sudden go down, and it goes from daylight to nighttime. And now all of the train areas and the various exhibits all light up at night. and you see the trains going through the tunnels and everything at night. And then about 10 minutes later or something, the lights go on and the sun comes up and now it's daytime.
Oh,
It's really a cool place, and kids of all ages and adults. I mean, when I went with my grandson, I had a great time working with him on the scavenger hunt.
oh, I
But
bet.
but but I think the key word to what we're talking about is that a lot of museums have become more interactive now, where you become a part of the process. It's not just going and staring at something and then moving on to the next thing to stare at. You actually can hands on. Indianapolis, Indiana has a children's museum, which is absolutely incredible. You could drop your kid off at 8 o'clock in the morning, pick them up at 5 o'clock, and they scream and kick because they don't want to leave, because it is all interactive. Open drawers, open doors, take things out, play with
Absolutely.
them, put them back. It's really cool. Also, Indianapolis just opened up a museum that has that's dedicated to dinosaurs.
Nice.
And as you walk through, it's got audio animatronic dinosaurs, and it's almost like a Jurassic Park type of a thing, where you go
That's
around a
cool.
corner, all of a sudden something pops out at you, and
That's
it's
cool.
an experience. Yeah,
That's cool. See, and that's what it is. It's something different, you know. The Perot Museum here in Dallas is an amazing museum. Besides the fact that they do have an entire floor dedicated for kids to do stuff, the kids have fun with other stuff, from the dinosaurs to the machines to space, electricity. It's an awesome museum. We spent the entire day there. Like, I'm probably like, we had lunch there. I know it was at least 5.5 hours that we were there. And he loved it. And it is, they're always changing it and growing and doing something different there.
yeah.
Great museums everywhere.
And the time literally flies by. You all of a sudden look at your watch, you realize, "Man, we've been here for 4.5 hours," and
Mm-hmm.
you don't realize it. You travel on some of the old highways in this country. I mean, we often talk about Route 66. There are antique car museums
Yep.
all over this country, and the kids love it as much as the adults. Guy goes, sees a 57 Thunderbird and everything, and, oh man, I remember riding in one of those. The kids just look at it and it's cool because they've never seen anything like that.
Well, that's it. And you know what? Then they, like you said, you just find those in old towns too, maybe some old town museums.
That's
You
right.
know, we keep talking about Texas. They have some really weird museums too. And I'm sure every state does. Texas has this one in Houston. It's so weird. It's the National Museum of Funeral History.
Of funeral history.
It literally goes through the history of what different beliefs do in funerals, what different timepieces, like periods of time, what they did at funerals, from Native Americans to
What their
medieval
traditions
time.
are.
Yeah, and it's in Houston now. I mean, I don't know if I want to go there, but it cost, it sparked my interest. They also have the Gone with the Wind Museum in Cleburne, Texas. I didn't even know about that. I was like, I don't even like that movie, but I'm kind of interested to go to it. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many weird, quirky museums that you can find across the country that you can just have a good time with.
Sure. Oh, out in Arizona, you talked about Indian culture, and all. There are a lot of old Indian reservations and all that have their own museums and all to their culture. Some of them, they even have like places where you can stay overnight
Yes.
a teepee replica. Out on the West Coast, one of the greatest highways in this country is Highway 1 in California, the coastal highway that runs the length of California, with the ocean always in sight. And there's little museums and everything all along there. Places out in California where the gold rush took place, where they still have places where you can spend a few hours with a pan and get some of the in the water and try and find little remnants of gold nuggets.
Yeah.
At all. It's pretty cool. You just have to reach out and try and find those places. And again, wherever you go, just Google it. Everywhere in the country. Go back to northeast into the New England states. Lots of history back there in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Washington D.C. of course is one museum after another.
One after another. I mean, you've got so many under the Smithsonian umbrella anyway.
Yep.
There's one that we went to. It's right here in the Colony, just not too far from us. And you guys should look it up if you're not from Texas. It's called the Barney Smith's Toilet Seat Art Museum.
Wait,
and
say that one again.
So it's Barney Smith's Toilet Seat Art Museum. And it's this guy, Barney Smith, who was in San Antonio, used to have it down there in San Antonio. And he collected toilet seats and turned them into art. It's so strange. But it got moved to the truck yard in the Colony. Again, guys, look it up. And there's thousands of toilet seats on the wall that have been hand painted, handcrafted, designed. Some of them are hilarious. Some of them got, there's a theme on the toilet seat, or they've got, one of them's like a WWF toilet seat, and it's all done like wrestling. And Luke and I went there to the Colony, the truck yard, to go get some food trucks and listen to live music. Yeah. And they have it upstairs, and it's multiple rooms of toilet seats everywhere. I posted pictures of it when I went. You guys got to check it out. One of the weirdest, coolest things ever. He passed away, but the collection went on to the truck yard and they brought it here. It's awesome.
That sounds like that sounds a lot of fun. It's a little different off the beaten path. For those people that follow NASCAR, there's NASCAR museums all over the country to see. I mean, go back to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
In Cleveland, Cooperstown for baseball. I forgot where the Football Hall of Fame is. I mean, if you're into sports, there are sports museums all over the country and museums generally are pretty. They're usually fairly reasonably priced.
They are. Yeah,
could be $10-15 a person, but instead of just start here and keep on moving and you're out of there in 20 minutes. Most of the places you can just spend a little time. They usually have a little a cafe where you can sit down and have something to eat or drink. You're always going to find a gift shop because they want to get you through the gift shop on the way out.
Well, again, another one here in Frisco. I hate to keep talking about it, our area, but look, we've got the National Soccer Hall of Fame here.
That's right.
I mean, just right down the street,
Toyota Stadium.
You can literally go to 3 museums right there in Frisco. It's crazy.
Yeah. The gaming museum, the Soccer Hall of Fame,
and the train.
And there's more coming.
Yes.
We've got the new home of PGA is coming in, and that's also is going to be featuring a museum of the history of the PGA.
That's insane.
It's amazing. Well, reach out, folks. They're out there. There's the big ones and there's the small ones. And oftentimes it's those little small, unique museums that really leave an impression with you. And I'll go out and see them. Send us a note and say, hey, if you guys are ever in Tupelo, Mississippi, go see the Elvis Presley, birthplace museum. They're out there. Drop us a line. Let us know what some of your favorite museums are. Maybe Brandon will be motivated to send you a Trash Talk sticker.
I might. You never know.
For some of your suggestions. So go out and enjoy the rest of your summer. Go visit some museums and I'll have a great time. And then next Tuesday at 8 a.m., come back and see us. Okay?